As I sit back and watch the unfolding drama between Ripple and the SEC, I can't help but feel a strange mix of frustration and excitement. It's clear that the SEC is determined to drag this case out as long as they can, filing appeals and keeping things in limbo. Honestly, it's almost like they're trying to make an example out of Ripple, or maybe just trying to keep crypto innovation stifled within the US. But here's the thing. While the SEC is busy spinning its wheels, Ripple is out there making waves internationally. Take Dubai, for instance. Ripple recently secured approval from the Dubai Financial Services Authority, which is a big deal. This approval gives Ripple the green light to expand its services in the UAE, which is massive. It's like a breath of fresh air, knowing that while the US is wrapped up in bureaucratic red tape, other parts of the world are embracing crypto and blockchain technology with open arms. Dubai isn't the only place either. Ripple is steadily building a global presence, gaining footholds in markets that are far more receptive to innovation than what we're seeing stateside. What's even more fascinating is how Ripple has adapted to this situation. It's almost as if the company has decided, if the US doesn't want us, fine. We'll just take our business elsewhere. And that's exactly what they're doing. Most of Ripple's customers are already based outside of the US, so this shift in focus to global markets isn't really surprising. In fact, Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has hinted that they're even comfortable with the idea of relocating their headquarters if that's what it takes. That's a bold move, but I think it shows just how serious Ripple is about continuing to grow and innovate, regardless of where their home base is. And it's not just Dubai. Ripple has been forging partnerships and gaining regulatory approvals across various regions, places like the UK, Singapore, and Japan. These are all regions that are not only more open to crypto, but are actively fostering environments that encourage blockchain innovation. Meanwhile, the SEC's actions are making the US seem increasingly hostile to the very idea of crypto. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? The US, the supposed leader in tech and innovation, is being left behind in the race for crypto adoption. As I think about this, it's hard not to wonder what the long-term effects will be. The US is risking its position as a leader in the financial world by resisting crypto innovation so strongly. And for what? Ripple is showing that it doesn't need the US market to thrive. It's already becoming a major player on the international stage, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if other crypto companies start following Ripple's lead. So, while the SEC continues to battle Ripple, the company is pushing forward, expanding, and securing its future in global markets. The US may soon realize that by clinging to old ways, it's only hurting itself. As for Ripple, they seem more than ready to take on the world, one country at a time. As I watch the US fumble with crypto regulations, it's hard not to feel a sense of disbelief. Here we are, in an era where crypto and blockchain technology are revolutionizing finance, and the US is just stuck. It's like the government can't make up its mind. On one hand, you hear politicians talking about how they support innovation, and on the other, you see agencies like the SEC cracking down on companies that are trying to make real progress in the space. It's confusing, and frankly, pretty frustrating. What makes it even more baffling is that while the US continues to debate, other countries are moving full steam ahead. Ripple, for instance, is seizing opportunities left and right in places like the UAE, the UK, and Singapore. These countries have embraced crypto with open arms, setting up clear regulations and frameworks that actually encourage innovation instead of stifling it. It's as if they see the writing on the wall, that crypto is here to stay, and they're determined to be part of that future. In the UAE, for example, Ripple has recently gained approval from the Dubai Financial Services Authority. This approval allows Ripple to expand its services and reach even more customers in the Middle East. It's not just a one-off success either. Ripple has been securing licenses and forging partnerships across multiple pro-crypto regions, where governments are not only open to crypto, but are actively supporting it. They understand that this technology has the potential to reshape the financial landscape, and they're making moves to be at the forefront of it. Meanwhile, back in the States, there's nothing but red tape and mixed messages. Some politicians make a big show of saying they're pro-crypto, but their actions, or rather, their lack of meaningful action, tell a different story. It's almost like they don't realize that every day they spend dragging their feet is another day that the US falls further behind. You'd think they'd want to be leading this technological revolution, not trailing behind while other countries set the pace. And it's not just about missing out on crypto itself. It's about the bigger picture. These countries that are embracing crypto are positioning themselves as hubs for financial innovation. They're drawing in talent, investment, and new businesses. The US could be doing the same, but instead, it's stuck in this endless cycle of regulatory uncertainty. Companies like Ripple, which are ready and eager to push the boundaries of what's possible, are finding it easier to operate abroad than at home. It's a real missed opportunity. The funny thing is, the US government doesn't seem to realize the impact of their indecision. Every step back they take is a step forward for countries like the UAE, UK, and Singapore. Ripple's success in these regions is a wake-up call, or at least it should be. But as long as the US remains bogged down in this regulatory mess, I guess the rest of the world will keep moving ahead without it. And if that continues, the US might find itself looking up at others who were once trailing behind. When it comes to the future of crypto, Brad Garlinghouse is pretty optimistic, and his predictions have got me thinking. He's throwing out some big numbers, suggesting that the crypto market could hit a $5 trillion market cap by the end of 2024. Now that's no small feat, but given the pace of growth we've seen in the past, it's not totally out of the question either. What really struck me, though, was his point about how much this growth depends on regulatory clarity, especially in the US. Right now, the crypto market is like a car revving up at the starting line. It's got all this potential energy, ready to launch into a full-speed sprint. But it's hard to get that momentum going when the rules of the road aren't clear. Companies don't know if they're going to get a green light or if they're going to slam into a regulatory wall. It's especially tricky for a company like Ripple, which is deeply embedded in the financial infrastructure and needs clear guidance to scale up effectively. Garlinghouse seems convinced that if the US can finally get its act together, it could open the floodgates for massive growth. And he's not wrong. There's a lot of institutional money on the sidelines, just waiting for some regulatory green light before they dive into crypto. We're talking big players with serious cash, investment funds, banks, tech giants. If the US were to establish clear and supportive regulations, we could see a huge influx of capital into the crypto market, driving up not just Ripple's value, but the entire market. But there's a flip side to that. If the US continues to lag behind, it could seriously hamper this potential growth. Without clear regulations, companies will either play it safe and scale back their plans, or like Ripple, they'll take their business overseas, where they can operate without so much uncertainty. That means the US risks missing out on a wave of innovation and investment that could shape the future of finance. Garlinghouse's prediction is exciting, but it's also a bit of a challenge. He's basically saying, hey, the opportunity is there, but it's up to regulators to make sure we don't squander it. And if you think about it, Hitting a $5 trillion market cap wouldn't just be a win for Ripple or for XRP holders, it'd be a huge milestone for crypto as a whole. It would mean that crypto has finally gone mainstream, that it's become an integral part of the global financial system. As I ponder this, I realize that we're at a crossroads. The potential is enormous, but there are still so many unknowns. It's like looking at a storm on the horizon. You can feel the electricity in the air, and you know something big is coming, but you're not quite sure which way it's going to break. All I can say is, if the US finally steps up and provides some clarity, we could be in for one hell of a ride. Ripple is playing a smart game, and their strategy is all about going where the opportunity is. And right now, that's outside the US. While the American market seems to be tied up with regulatory issues, Ripple is focused on building strong connections elsewhere. And they're not just sticking to one region. They're expanding across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, tapping into markets that are eager to embrace crypto and digital assets. One of the biggest moves Ripple has planned is the launch of a USD-backed stablecoin. This is a pretty big deal because stablecoins are seen as a bridge between the traditional financial world and the fast-evolving realm of crypto. By creating a stablecoin tied to the US dollar, Ripple is aiming to provide a more stable and reliable option for users who might still feel a bit cautious about the volatility that's so common in the crypto market. This stablecoin isn't just a new product, it's part of a larger strategy. Ripple's approach is all about building an ecosystem that can seamlessly connect digital assets with traditional finance. Think about it. If you're a company or a financial institution and you want to dip your toes into crypto, you need a way to move in and out of digital assets smoothly. Ripple's USD-backed stablecoin could be that solution. It offers a way to transact with the familiarity of the US dollar while tapping into the speed and efficiency of blockchain technology. Another important aspect of this expansion is Ripple's continued focus on securing regulatory approvals in various countries. They've already made great strides in places like Dubai, and they're building a reputation as a company that respects and works within regulatory frameworks. This gives them a leg up because financial institutions are more likely to partner with a company that can offer compliance and security. Ripple seems to understand that while the crypto space can sometimes feel like the Wild West, playing by the rules can actually be a competitive advantage. What really stands out to me is how Ripple is positioning itself as more than just a crypto company. They're creating infrastructure that could very well become the backbone of global financial transactions. They're not just out to make a quick profit from crypto. They're thinking long-term. By focusing on interoperability between digital assets and traditional financial systems, they're setting themselves up to be a key player in the future of finance. And let's not forget the impact this could have on XRP. By launching a stablecoin and expanding its global reach, Ripple is boosting the ecosystem that XRP operates within. It's like they're building a digital highway where XRP can serve as one of the main vehicles. All of this makes me think that Ripple's strategy is about laying down roots now, so they're ready to thrive no matter how the landscape shifts. It's a fascinating approach, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Despite the legal storm that Ripple's been weathering, there's this undercurrent of optimism that just can't be ignored. As an XRP holder, I'm constantly hearing people go back and forth about whether this whole SEC saga is going to end well for Ripple. But here's the thing. No matter how loud the noise gets, there's this undeniable feeling that XRP is here for the long haul. In fact, the more I dig into it, the more I'm convinced that these challenges are just temporary bumps on a much bigger road. For starters, XRP has so much more going for it than just the potential outcome of this lawsuit. Sure, the SEC case might be unsettling, but when you look at the bigger picture, XRP's adoption and utility are what really tell the story. The fact that Ripple is still building partnerships around the world, securing new licenses, and rolling out innovations like their upcoming USD-backed stablecoin, all of this shows that XRP is only growing stronger. Every time I hear about another financial institution partnering with Ripple, it reinforces my belief that this is more than just a passing trend. There's also a lot to be said about the resilience of the XRP community. Every time there's a dip in price or a new twist in the SEC case, it seems like some people are quick to jump ship. But on the other side, there's a core group of XRP supporters who truly believe in its long-term potential. And I get it, because I'm one of them. I know that investing in crypto isn't just about the price today or tomorrow. It's about the big picture, the technology, and the way it's transforming how we think about money and transactions. What's more, the current legal challenges could actually end up being a blessing in disguise. If Ripple manages to come out of this with a favorable outcome, it could set a precedent for other crypto companies, potentially opening up the US market in a way that's never been done before. And if things don't go Ripple's way, well, they're already making strides outside the US anyway. This is a company that's not afraid to adapt and evolve, which is exactly what gives me so much confidence in XRP's future. I also can't help but feel that all of this skepticism and fear around XRP is exactly what makes it a great opportunity. The phrase "buy when there's blood in the streets" comes to mind. While some are selling out of fear, others, like me, see this as a chance to get in while the prices are low. Because once the dust settles and the market starts to see the true value of XRP, I believe we're going to see some serious growth. The groundwork Ripple is laying right now could lead to some big gains down the road. In the end, staying optimistic about XRP isn't just about hoping for a good outcome with the SEC. It's about understanding that the world of finance is shifting, and XRP is right there at the forefront of that change. I'm holding on, not just because of the potential for gains, but because I believe in the role XRP can play in this new financial era. It's an exciting time to be part of this journey, and I'm ready to see where it takes us.